Hi, folks. I saw something today that, filled me with the same amount of rage as I've had over the past days, really, or longer than that, really, about the church, because it was by that lady who does the Hey Stranger podcast ones. Yeah. For that lady who does the things in the street. Mickey, shush now. Lay down. He can hear the pups playing outside, so he's getting a bit excited about that. Plus, he can hear the people speaking outside. Right. Anyway, it's that lady who does all the street stuff. Ask people secrets, that sort of thing. She done one called Revealing Secrets Left on My Voicemail. And Jesus Christ. Oh, some of these things that people, the secrets they had, and pain. You can feel the pain. And there's a lot of young people who left messages basically saying they feel so incredibly sad. They're struggling to know how they can keep going. Yeah, there was one woman who, I think her grandmother died, her mum had a stroke, and their dog passed away, all in the space of a very, very short time. And she was basically saying she's just not had time to understand what's happened. The world is moving so fast, and she doesn't have that time. And there's another lady who had an abortion. She chose to have the abortion. But she says it was the worst decision she's ever made. And she blames herself. She can't forgive herself for it. And sometimes she struggles for the reason to live. Yeah. It's tough. I checked the pups out earlier. Well, two of them. Larson and Covie. They had a good walk. It was interrupted by a yuppie dog, because of course the problem is puppies will run away like nobody's business from a yuppie dog, because they just don't know what the heck is going on. They won't bark back. They just don't understand. There's a lady who lives in one of the play areas that I used to take the dogs, whose dog just is outside yapping all the time. So, not as good. We walked up that way, and that wasn't good at all. So, yeah, but they did work. They were climbing the steps as well, which is good. That was quite cool. But on the way back, Betty came out. Betty met the puppies, and she was stroking the pups. But then she said, "Can you tell me, is James alive or dead?" She said she's losing her memory. Now, James, her husband, died about 5 months ago. He had cancer. Certainly, he'd suffered a bit. So I imagine he suffered a bit. And then she asked, well, where did he die? I said, here, in your house. She had tears in her eyes. She couldn't remember him passing. She couldn't remember whether he was alive or dead. I said to her, Betty, I said, in many ways, that's a good thing. I said, because in the end, you don't remember if he suffered or how he suffered or anything like that. You don't remember the pain of losing him. Anyway, I went for a walk later, and I was thinking about it, saying to the Lord, well, yeah, if you want me to pray for her, you really do need to let me know. It needs to be completely clear, because I'm quite happy to do so. Yeah, if you want me to do that, Lord, I'm more than happy to do that. Absolutely. Yeah. More than happy to do that because that would be a good move. If it can help her. Now, of course, if it can help her. Would getting memories back help her? Yeah. If you could have an intelligent conversation with someone who had experienced loss and someone they loved dying, maybe dying in pain, yeah. And ask them if they wanted to remember that. Some people will say yes, some people will say no. So it's a tough one, really, isn't it? That's the point. Yeah, people like Betty, people like these people that left, they're revealing secrets on this lady's voicemail. These are the people that it's all about. These are the people that actually matter. All the rest is just noise. And this is why I feel rage when I see the sort of thing I see coming out of churches or churchy places. And I know the head of that place nearby here who wanted me to phone him. It's quite likely he didn't answer and didn't phone me back because he sensed that rage. And he sensed that he couldn't explain it. He couldn't make excuses. That in the end, there'd be no excuses he could make. As I say, in the end, folks, the situation is that what matters is people like these people that have poured their heart out on these voicemails and stuff like that. The people who are finding life difficult, for whatever reason. Yeah. There was one boy who basically gave the typical story of being a middle child and where the parents favoured the younger child and the older child. But basically not this one. Not him. Yeah, he was the only one out of the children who had to pay his own way in college. He was the only one who had to pay rent when he stayed at home. He was the only one where his parents weren't interested in him at all. Yeah. Levels of insanity. As I say, the levels of stupidity are high, but certainly, even amongst family, you favour your oldest, you favour your youngest, but your middle child you basically ignore. You do not understand that child isn't your child, it's God's child. That God gave you that child to look after and take care of and raise in his will and his way, and you didn't do it. You're going to be answerable to God for that. Simple. All these people that do not understand that there are consequences. Jesus Christ, there are consequences. Some people understand it. I did a video earlier about the man whose fiance left him at the altar for his brother. That video shows quite clearly how consequences can be, how bad they can be. 10 years later, these two people had been married, they had 5 kids, they were desolate and they were desperate for help. And they went to this man, and this man said, "No, sorry, but we're nothing to do with each other anymore after what you did." Yeah, they thought that, if they just asked nicely, that because it's been time, that it would be okay. No. The consequences never came earlier for them, so therefore they built up and built up and built up, and it wasn't dealt with. Had they have just basically faced him earlier, They could have got that out of the way and maybe moved past it, but because they didn't, when they really, really needed help, he wouldn't give them help, even though he could have done, even though he was in a position to do so. I said in the video that we all need a wife like this man's wife. But those people who are uncaring, unkind, vile human beings, you need to realize the consequences that there are, because there are. There are consequences. And there will be consequences. Of course there will. You can't keep on being nasty and thinking there won't be consequences. And I say, I mean, the same people that reported me to the police for meeting around these people, standing around outside without a mask, were the ones sitting outside here with other people without a bloody mask. As I said, the degree of stupidity is just unbelievable, isn't it, really? But even that, leave that to God. Leave the hypocrites to God. Hypocrites will pay for their hypocrisy, won't they? That's the reality. Hypocrites will pay for their hypocrisy. Yeah. That is the reality. That has to be the reality. That's the reality that God will bring to them, and hopefully they will learn sooner rather than later.